I be in the zone, gazing at the walls, depressed, kicking the bone. They take it personal, but only your mind if you could understand what a nigga feeling.
Hello, testing the microphone.
I'm still breathing you for blood, so we full bread. You ain't my dog trying to infiltrate the click issue. I get what you into that on a later note. We overdose every day to death, we so close. I'm trying to tell these cats what I let them do they thing. Ready for the bad news till the phone ring. Son is dead now anyway. Over my head, seeking revenge, son. Been son, on your behalf, trying to laugh out the drill gun. Seal guns, play the hum. For real sons, for you motherfucking hoes.
Hello everyone, let me just test if everything is working properly. So, hello everyone, let me just yeah, we should be fine. If everything is working. Okay, so we should be working. I have the chat. So I hope everyone is doing well. As I told you, you can catch me on Thursdays at like, what is it, 4:30 p.m. Hey Angus, what's up? So let me just open the chat right there. If something is wrong with my microphone, because sometimes it cuts out, just let me know and I'll fix it. Anyways, what has been happening in the markets? Well, first, let me run through the trades that I have. And also, what is this? They have some new stuff. Yeah, nothing interesting. So, as far as trades go, I have UJ buy, so USD yen buy setup. I have USD CAD. I took an initial market buy right there, and I took a buy limit at this level. Stop loss for the first position is at 1.39483, and for the second position, stop loss is at 1.38844. So that is USD CAD, and then Euro CAD is in some drawdown right now. So this has been a battle, I'm not gonna lie. Euro CAD has been a battle. We have been in this pretty extensive, I would say pretty extensive uptrend following the trend line. Hopefully we can actually continue. We're still sort of respecting the trend line, so it does look okay. We will see if we can go up. This is more of a long-term position, so I plan on holding this for the next few months, hoping that it will go up. So, Angus says, in cable shorts from pullback this morning. Okay, nice. So you're in GBPUSD, I presume. GBPUSD. I did take a sell setup and it just took me out. I mean, it took me out quite with quite a lot of movement, and then we actually continued going lower. So my bet is for a lower pound, for let's say, basically for the pound to lose value. Sorry about that. And I wanted to exploit that. I was counting on a breakout from the range, but unfortunately got taken out before we continued lower. So nice position, nice catch. If you're in, you said from this morning, so you're probably from this level, pretty good. And I would probably target this swing low as my first target right there. I think we can definitely hit that level. We can definitely approach that level on GBPUSD. So it should be interesting what will happen. I would, with this particular setup, also advise looking at a potential trailing stop loss. So as we go lower, you just put your stop loss above the swing highs. So in that scenario, you would squeeze out the most of the move if you just trail your position, trail the stop loss. Anyway, it's gonna hide this position now. Anil says, hello Marco, love your videos. How do you manage open trades during major news? That is a good question. And I would say it heavily depends. So it depends if you have upcoming news and essentially where is the current price, where is my entry, where is my stop loss. That will determine how I'm gonna approach the trade. So I can show you the current status. For example, the news that we have upcoming is CPI tomorrow. Okay, US CPI. It should be pretty volatile. It should be pretty important. The US government is shut down. This is the only news report that's actually coming out. So that's why I believe it should actually move the markets. Now, I do have some dollar positions as I just showed you. So UJ and USDCAD, both are, let's say UJ is in profit, but USDCAD is around break even, I would say. So there is a bit of risk for a spike coming and taking me out, but my bet is actually for a hot CPI. So these trades are actually a bet on a hotter CPI. So I actually want to hold through this news, okay? And I think I have quite a lot of room. But if I wasn't prepared for the news, if I didn't analyze the news prior and I kind of know it's going to be volatile, but the price is near the stop loss, let's say here, near the stop loss of the first position, and I wasn't prepared for CPI, I would have considered closing before the news event, just so I don't get taken out for more than I risked. Because I've had examples in the past, I've seen it happen where you get massive moves, massive volatility, non-farm payroll, and you get a gap. So essentially price comes flying on the 1 minute, and on your broker, it gaps lower, like this. Okay, so it gaps lower, essentially your stop loss triggers, but you get executed at a very, very bad price. Okay, your execution is at a very, very low and bad price. So essentially you lose more than you risk. Let's say you risk 1% per position, you can actually get taken out for 1.5, 2%, 3%. I think in the past I've got taken out for 2 times the risk. I know my friend Nico, he got taken out for, I think it was 5 times what he risked. So he risked 1% and he got taken out for 5% because it was a massively volatile NFP. So yeah, that can definitely happen. Again, if you're not prepared for the event, if you haven't done the research, if you haven't done the work, I would suggest, and the current price is close to your stop loss or close to the entry, I would suggest and consider possibly closing the position manually before the event. Markets are so volatile at the moment. Well, I think Forex is a bit sleepy right now. I would say Forex doesn't look that great. I mean, we're getting some movement, but I don't know, it's not really that drastic. The yen is moving a bit, so the yen looks to be looks to be losing value. JXY, yeah, so the yen seems to be losing value. The dollar, I'm bullish on it. I'm definitely bullish. It is just kind of flat overall, so there's not massive momentum. The momentum is at gold, silver. So yeah, these things are moving. NASDAQ looks kind of flat here, so this is the sort of sideways up movement. We go up, we stagnate, and that's about it. So if you do any research on the stock market, you will see that we are now in the sideways up movement. Up, sideways. Up, sideways. Up, sideways. Okay, now that's pretty tough to trade because you don't get those big pullbacks. So that's pretty tough. Angus says, I was also tapped out of oil buy yesterday and look where the price is now. Yeah, so oil is pumping heavily because of some sanctions. If we go to financial juice, I haven't yet looked at financial juice, but let's take a look. Yeah, so let's see. These are all the sanctions. So holy moly, that's quite a lot of stuff. Trump says maybe the meeting won't happen with China President Xi. That's pretty funny. Let's see, oil. US lifts key restriction on Ukraine's use of Western long-range missiles. That makes oil go up. US Treasury Secretary, a substantial pickup in Russia sanctions expected. We will announce Russia sanctions today or tomorrow. Oil goes up. Chinese state oil major suspend seaborne Russian oil purchases due to concerns. So again, sanctions, oil goes up. And you have some Kuwait news. Okay. Anyways, pretty bullish stuff. So pretty volatile stuff. Market definitely exploded higher. So pretty interesting to see that. Me personally, I don't have a position on oil. I think oil is pretty tough to trade. I think it's a pretty, you can say, tough thing to trade because of geopolitics. So you may have a good position, you may have a good fundamental view on oil, but that can be changed very quickly. Just so you know how fundamentals work on oil, usually if economies of the world are doing well, if people have money, if people are spending money, if people are traveling, if there's a lot of exchange of goods happening, if there is a lot of transport of goods happening, that makes oil prices go up. If the world is not doing well, if the world is in a crisis, if the world is in a sort of a, let's say, recession, if people don't have a lot of money, then the demand for oil goes down. So what happened during COVID, that's a good example. During COVID, massive drop, okay? Because the demand massively went lower. I mean, planes were not flying, buses were not on the road, trains were probably not moving as much, and that's what happens. The world was in lockdown, prices of oil went down, even negative. Let's see. Yeah, even negative. So they would actually pay you to store oil because they didn't have any more facilities to store all that oil. That's the fundamentals. Geopolitics. So Russia and Ukraine, Israel and Iran, Russia sanctions, US and Russia, that all impacts the price of oil. Oil is very, very sensitive. So it's very, very tough to hold a position because you never know when you're going to get a news event, let's say, or breaking news, such as this. So Chinese state oil major suspend seaborne Russian oil purchases due to concerns about Western sanctions, right? Youssef, hi Marco, hope you had a wonderful week. Thank you very much. Hope you had a wonderful week as well. I am pretty tired because my brother and I are actually looking to buy a new car, and we are on the website to buy cars in Germany is called Mobile.de, and pretty much every single day we spend 1 or 2 hours just looking for a new car and calling people, and then it's appointments and discussing the price. So that is pretty tiring. It's super fun, but it's also pretty tiring. So I had a very busy week, but it was really fun. Anil says, when are you usually live on this channel? I'm usually live on Thursdays at 4:30 p.m. London time. Okay, so I'll put it here so that maybe the people that will watch the recording will see. So Thursday, 4:30 p.m. London time. That is my usual stream time. I usually stream once per week. If I have a different commitment, I'll skip the stream. And you can actually find me every day, pretty much every day, on Trader Nick. So on Trader Nick's channel, I stream every single day at around 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or that's 3 p.m. London time. Okay. So I'm streaming on Trader Nick every day around 3 p.m. London time. Angus says, what car are you looking for? Well, we're looking for a couple of different models. We're looking for BMWs, mostly BMWs, and mostly like coupes or cabrio, or pretty much like a sports car BMW with a smaller engine, because we're going to do trips with the car, so we don't want crazy gas mileage, and also we need to import the car from Germany to Croatia, so the smaller engines are cheaper to import, while the bigger engines are super expensive to import. I don't know why, but finding a car is just as hard as finding a house. It's pretty tough, but I do love cars, so for me, I enjoy it. It is a lot of work, but it's super fun. Anyways, getting back to the markets, I should open like a car channel, because that's my second passion, I would say. It's sometimes even more interesting to me than the markets. Anyways, please, have you done an analysis on gold yet? No, I have not, so let's do gold and silver. That's a good request. Big movers this week. Okay. Big movers, gold, silver, massive move up. From this low, let's say like 30%, something like that. Has the correction started? I made like a reel about gold asking, has the correction started? It got some decent views, I would say. So, and from the live streams, I can see that a lot of you guys are monitoring the metals market and want to see where gold and silver will end up. I think we could pull back a bit more. If you're into Elliott waves, I'm not really into Elliott waves, but like this could be the wave up. So 1, 2, 3, and then you have a pullback, ABC pullback like this. That's essentially how the markets tend to move. You know, I don't use it to make trading decisions, but I'm expecting another leg down, if I'm being honest. So expecting another leg down. I'm definitely not looking to sell, so I don't want to sell this market, but I would like to buy the pullback. One thing that I'm waiting for the edge finder, top setups. I'm waiting for a bullish reading on gold or silver. Right now, gold is neutral. Silver is neutral as well, okay? So gold is neutral, silver is neutral, and I would first like to get a bullish reading here. It would be an extra confluence. If you're following Trader Nick on YouTube, he's kind of looking for the same thing, so looking for buy setups, but we first need the confirmation from this software. I also mentioned I think we can get a bigger pullback, so some levels would probably be, well, here, this support, here. These are some levels where I would be interested to get in on some possible buy setups, okay? So that is what I'm looking for. Now, I will try to get in at multiple levels, so I will structure my risk appropriately, meaning I'm not going to risk the full 1% on the initial position. I'm actually going to do probably 0.25, 0.25, 0.25, have the confluence of the edge finder, tight stop loss, tight risk management. I'll try to get in on a couple levels. I think once we do finish the pullback, once the pullback happens, we could go back to the all-time highs. At that point, we could see a pretty healthy reward to risk. Okay, pretty healthy reward to risk. One problem you can say is swaps. So let me check my swaps on MetaTrader, because it's kind of expensive to hold gold buys. So let's see, what's the ticker? Damn it. Here it is. So swap long is minus 52 points. Okay, so interesting stuff. Could be pretty expensive to hold it. For a few days or maybe even like 2 or 3 weeks. That's a bit of a problem. I'm trading CFDs. If you're trading ETFs, it should be a bit less expensive. It all depends on what you are trading. My game plan is pretty much the same on silver. So silver, I think we can pull back a bit more. I think we're not done. Some levels, well, maybe here a bit lower. We have touched the 20 MA, so that definitely is interesting. Here, this one potentially. That's kind of what I'm looking at. And just to repeat, Edge Finder, I would need to see a bullish reading. Most likely need to see a bullish reading first. Maybe, so I'm interested, what do you guys think? Are you guys looking to trade gold? Are you guys looking to trade silver? You can put it in the chat. Angus says like a 2 series or 3 series. So we're looking for a 3 series, either E92 or E93, basically. So year around 2010, like that. But we're also looking at a 4 series, maybe Z4, 2 series, maybe. I don't like the 2 series. My brother likes the 2 series. We'll see if a good one pops up. Like the main thing is low mileage, service history, good condition, and that it's close to Munich. Because Zagreb, Croatia is close to Munich. Let's say close, so we can easily look at the car. Luca Mariana says, or a woman. I guess you're referring to the prior comment that it's hard to find the car, it's hard to find the house. So, I mean, that's true. That's totally true. Mild hybrids are nice enough, fuel economy wise. Yeah, I mean, my mom has a Toyota hybrid, like a Yaris. It's a great car, just not my style. Gold went up. I mean, it did go up today, but it's not a big move. So it's just kind of a smaller move in my opinion, and I think a correction could happen still. So I think we could go up a bit and then we go down a bit more. I mean, we can look at some prior pullbacks. Here we had sort of an ABC pullback right there. See, that's kind of an Elliott wave pullback. So you had the first leg of selling, you had the pause, and then you had the second leg of selling. Let's take a look at another one here. First leg, pullback, second leg. Here, kind of as well, 2 or 3 legs. If we find another big rally, this one was massive. So this one was a bunch of legs going lower, and this one lasted for a very long time. Yeah, so basically from 7th of August 2020 to you can say 6th of March 2024. What this also tells us, 2025 is an awesome year for gold because we have just had straight pump to the upside, which is pretty funny. Yusuf says that's a lot of swaps. It's pretty expensive. It's pretty expensive if you hold buy setups on gold or buy setups on silver on a CFD broker. I mean, they know what they're doing. You have a big edge if you just buy gold instead of selling it. So they want you to sell gold because they know it's very easy to lose your account by just selling gold. Buying gold, you have a massive extra trading edge. So they want to make it as expensive as possible for you to hold it. Buying the NASDAQ has a massive trading edge. It's very expensive to hold the NASDAQ on a CFD broker. So yeah, just know CFD brokers are not taking any of your trades. I don't care who you are, unless you have 100,000 euros in your account, they're not taking your trades. Essentially, they're betting against you. They're the ones at the opposite side of your trades. Just so you know. You can make money. It's not like a rigged game, but they kind of make it as tough as they can with trading conditions for you to lose money. I'm doing some scalping sells on gold, and NASDAQ 100 been going really well. Awesome. Okay, great. Although I wouldn't advise for most people to sell gold. I know Max from A1 Trading, from the A1 Trading Discord, Max is a scalper. He sells gold on pullbacks. If it works for him, that's great. But for most other traders, it's a super dangerous game. Most people lose all of their capital by selling gold. It's very hard to make money that way. So I would advise for 99% of people to, if you do want to trade gold, just focus on buying it. Just focus on buy setups on gold. I'm doing some. Okay, sounds like a nice ride. Yeah, it is. There's some pretty cool cars. Hey Joshua, what's up? You can find all of the updates when I'm live on my Instagram. So it's at Marcos Trading Journey. I pretty much post an update on my Instagram every week if I'm doing a live stream or I'm not doing a live stream. So you can get all the updates there, and you can be pretty sure that I will be streaming on Thursday at, 4:30 p.m. London time. Okay. I'm long USD Swiss. Let's see, USD Swiss. I haven't checked that one out. So USD Swiss, I think it's a good fundamental setup because I'm bullish on the dollar. I haven't done much research on the Swiss. I can look at the economic heat maps. I think it's horrible numbers right now. Yeah, so the latest data has been horrible. Long-term data, I don't think it's that bad. If you look at GDP, unemployment, inflation, short-term data, very bad. Is this my favorite setup? Is this my favorite currency pair? No, it's not. It kind of looks super flat, super range bound. The bullish price action is not that consistent. I mean, comparing it to the DXY, let's say. So comparing it to, where's my DXY? Here it is. Comparing it to this chart, which obviously has some bullish momentum, I would say USD Swiss doesn't look that great. But it's not a bad trade. If it fits your plan for some reason, if you have confluences that made you take this trade, if it fits your plan, if you have back tested your approach, if you have live tested your approach, then that is fine. Joshua says, I just came in to scold you. I need to go again. Yeah, no worries. You can come back at any time. A bit late to the party just now. I saw you're live on Instagram. Hey Sluggy, what's up? So yeah, exactly. You can find all of the updates on Instagram. Well, if they're betting against me, then they'll be losing big time. I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to. Do you think AI will replace retail traders like other jobs? Well, I'm actually testing that one out because I have a trading challenge against ChatGPT. Okay, unfortunately I can't show you here. How can I do that? Yeah, I just can't share that screen right now. Anyways, from my results, I have the journal right here. So far ChatGPT has taken 79 trades and it is up plus 23.54%. So those are the current results. Unfortunately, the latest trading period has been break even, but so far making 23.54% from June the 4th. So the start date of the challenge was June 4th. Up to now, that's pretty good. That's pretty healthy. Will it replace traders? I don't think so. So I don't think that they will replace traders, at least not currently, maybe in like 20, 30 years, because they still haven't achieved full AI, like full artificial intelligence. They're still attempting to achieve a a real artificial intelligence robot, you can say, I think they're going to be successful in 20, 30 years. At that point, we could see some very, very advanced trading strategies, very advanced trading robots that could beat human traders. Again, will you be trading in the next 20, 30 years? I think I'll probably be in the markets, but I think that's a really long time span. I think by that point, I probably should have been able to accumulate profits or revenue and put it in the S&P 500 and just be safe. So maybe switch from actively trading to more of an investing role. But essentially, my game plan long term, do I really want to be trading in the next 20, 30 years? Like actively trading, I'm not 100% sure. It's a pretty tough job. There's a lot of work. So the game plan is to build a lot of capital, put it in the S&P and collect the yearly revenue. And then, of course, do some things on the side, maybe even trade, maybe actively invest. So I think our, you can say generation, but the people that are watching the streams right now, I think we're safe. Future generations, the game will change. I talked to Max. He knows what he's doing. Yeah, so I can see Max is doing well. He is the guy that is scalping gold. So he's scalping sell setups on gold. I personally would never do it. I think there's not a big edge in that sort of an approach. But if he has a trading edge that works for him, if he has tested his approach, if he is aware of the current market condition, which is a massive explosion, and I know he uses proper risk management, so that's positive, well, then it might just work. Hey Marco, on next stream, just reminding us if you're doing streams on your personal. Yeah, so I think I did say it today, but I'll aim to mention it after the stream on Trader Nick. Please, what is your fundamental outlook on the DXY and the yen? So for the DXY, I am bullish. I think we go up. I think there is a bullish fundamental case. I think technical analysis looks okay. We're above the 20 MA. We're starting to go up like this. I can tell you some more information. For example, the US dollar tends to appreciate in the year's end. Okay, so going into the end of the year, dollar tends to gain value. Last few days, there's corporate buying of US dollars. So Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Tesla, they sell stuff all over the world. They collect foreign currency. At the end of the month, they usually need to exchange foreign currency for US dollars. That's a statistic. You can do some research using ChatGPT. You will see in the last 7 days of the month, there's a 55% chance that the DXY will actually appreciate, then lose value. So that's an extra trading edge for buying the DXY. Also, US stock market, you have the Santa rally. So we can look at the monthly seasonality, look at the S&P, and we can see here in November and December, S&P usually goes up. So the last 10-year average for November is plus 2.83%. For December, it is plus 1.67%. What does that mean? Well, there's going to be a lot of buying. Presumably, there's going to be a lot of buying of US stocks. To buy US stocks, you need US dollars. So, first thing, the investors, the hedge funds, the institutional traders, the banks, they're going to buy USD and then they're going to go into the S&P, right? That's another reason. Third reason is the Fed. 2 rate cuts priced in, pretty much guaranteed in the markets. Very tough for the Fed to get more dovish. I don't think they're going to come out and say we're going to do 50 basis point cuts. There's currently no reason for them to do so. The DXY has no reason to go down. okay, there's very little chance of a catalyst for the DXY to go down. But it is very easy for us to get a hot inflation print tomorrow. That's why this number is so important. So it's very easy for us to get hot inflation because that can change the Fed rate cut story. And that can actually make them say, maybe we won't do 2 rate cuts, maybe we only do 1 rate cut. Okay? Or maybe we do 1 rate cut and then we wait and see what will happen. What will that mean? Repricing of the dollar. Dollar moves up. So pretty much I'm assembling a story. Also, one more thing, Canada is highly connected with the United States. Canada CPI can be used as a signal for higher inflation in US. Guess what happened this week on Tuesday? So October 21st, Tuesday, Canada CPI hot. Okay, forecast minus 0.1, actual number 0.1. That's a pretty hot number. It could mean that the US CPI will come out hot as well. So Canadian CPI can be used as a forecasting tool of the US CPI. They're usually kind of tied together, right? You can even see it if you go to the CPI, USD, okay, and the CAD. So essentially, it's in an uptrend in Canada, and USD also, inflation is in an uptrend, and it's above 2%. Okay, so higher inflation, by the way, means higher DXY. It means less interest rate cuts. It means a hawkish Fed, right? That is the general story. Okay. For the yen, for the JXY, I'm kind of bearish. So technical analysis, we're in a downtrend. We are below the 20 EMA, so the technicals are bearish. Fundamentals are a bit unclear. Bank of Japan was talking about raising interest rates, so you can do this BOJ interest rate graph. Japan interest rate. See, so they were raising interest rates, and they talked about maybe going to 1%. Currently, they're at 0.5%, and they were talking about going to 1% possibly. What happened? Well, you had an unexpected prime minister. I think the name is Takaishi or something like that. I think it's Takaishi. She is apparently dovish. So now you have a clash between the prime minister and the Bank of Japan. Prime minister wants lower rates. Bank of Japan wants higher rates. That creates uncertainty, and I don't think a rate hike will happen. Next week, we actually have the Bank of Japan policy rate, monetary policy statement, and again, I don't think they're gonna do much. I think yen stays where it's at, or maybe even continues with the downtrend, right? I think someone mentioned it on, I think maybe it was Sluggy on the JPY, on the prior stream, like the inflation in Japan is going lower. So inflation is not really a massive problem in Japan, see? So they may not need to raise interest rates. They can possibly keep interest rates the same, meaning steady. That's my view. DXY up, JXY down. I'm in UJ. I'm in a buy setup. Possibly gonna target 155. Something like that. That could be a nice target. Why, you may ask? Because then we're starting to approach the intervention level. So Bank of Japan is known for making interventions for keeping the yen, let's say, stronger, and keeping the UJ price stable. So if we go to 156, 157, 158, there is a risk, there is a chance of a Bank of Japan intervention, which will push the price down. They already did a massive intervention in, 11th of July. I made some really decent gains here. So I remember this summer, I was shorting the yen, and it was a great trade. So this was awesome. And this was an intervention. What was this level? Well, this level was far above the current level, but this area is known to be problematic. 156. Right there. Okay. So it would not be the first time that they did an intervention. And I believe that they don't want to see UJ go into this price territory. So to be safe, I will probably close my position at maybe 154.8. That's like a good level. Yeah, I think that would work. 154.8. That's good. Okay. I meant the brokers betting against me, booking me. Oh, okay, I get it. So just to repeat, most brokers, if not all of them, are booking you unless you have maybe more than 100,000 euros in the account. Then they may start to book you. I don't know. No, you didn't say today, Marco. I think I did. Maybe you missed it. Maybe I didn't say it. I don't remember, if I'm being honest. You can even share on Discord about your live. That's true. I could do that. I took a short on GU yesterday. I shared it on Discord. It's doing pretty well. Cool. Can you give me the levels? Maybe if you can write down the levels and we can take a closer look. I shared my fundamental analysis on the Aussie, waiting for further cool down data due to 29th of October to form short ideas. Yeah, so I remember you talking about the Aussie. 29th. Okay, we have CPI for the Aussie coming out next week. And yeah, it's going to be important to wait for some more news. To be honest, Aussie is not in the spotlight for me personally. So I have, as you saw, I have other things that I'm looking at. I have other things that I'm trading. But let's see what the CPI will print. Let me run through the numbers on the Aussie quickly here. So short-term data is 50-50. Okay, short-term data 50-50. GDP is good, actually. So unemployment is getting higher. So yeah, unemployment jumped. Actually, unemployment is rising. Not the greatest thing you want to see. And then the CPI, Aussie. Well, it's in a downtrend. It's definitely in a downtrend, and it's around the 2% mark. Aussie, not a bad currency. So yeah, Aussie looks okay. I'm not looking to buy it. I know I was looking to buy it, but I think we then got the unemployment numbers. So we then got. So this was in September. We got some pretty high unemployment data, which made me a bit scared, right? Because it's in an uptrend. The unemployment, it's in a clear uptrend right now. But overall, relative to other economies, looks fine. Looks fine. So let's look at Aussie dollar. Okay, let me just hide this. Aussie dollar, yeah, kind of overall flat. AJ moving higher, so the Aussie seems to be appreciating right now. Aussie CAD, let's look at Aussie CAD. Yeah, I think I had a buy setup on Aussie CAD right there. It was running some pretty decent percentage. Then we had the news out of, was it Canada? Yeah, it was out of Canada. Actually, some okay news out of Canada, and my position got crushed. I'm not looking to re-enter. So yeah, I'm not looking to re-enter it right now. I have USDCAD, I have EuroCAD, so I'm gonna leave those two with the CAD shorts. I share my film. Ballout is bullish on UJ, so that's a good trading edge. Isn't he bearish on UJ? I thought he wanted to go short on the dollar. That was his whole thing. He wanted to sell the dollar, right? Chris is trading for 20 to 30 years, so I think we should be good in 20 to 30 years if you work this out, Marco. Yeah, so if you don't know who is Chris Pulver, okay? And he has been trading for, I think, 30 years now. So he has been trading for a long time. For me personally, again, not sure if I'll be an active trader in 30 years. I'll definitely still be in the markets, but I do want to pursue some other things as well. And I want to, in the next 20, 30 years, I want to build up enough capital where I can just put a lot of money into the S&P and kind of be chill, you know? Kind of maybe do some other things because I have a lot of other interests I want to look at. So I'll definitely always be in the markets. I just don't know if I'll be devoting most of my hours for trading. But no one knows, you know. You have plans and then God intervenes and puts you on a completely different path. So I don't even want to talk about what's going to happen. Thanks, Marco. Really appreciate for the insight. Yeah, no worries, Yusef. I'll tag you on the trade on Discord. I've tagged you on the trade. Ballout is bearish. Okay, cool, yeah. So if Ballout is bearish on UJ, then I'm definitely bullish. So far, it's working out. So looks pretty good. Again, I don't want to jinx it, but fundamentals are fundamentals. So this can still drop, of course. I just have a lot of reasons. I have a lot of reasons to buy the dollar. Let me look at the Discord. Let me see. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. I can't see the risk reward tool though. Yeah, I can't see the risk reward tool. So if you can just put the levels in, that would be helpful. Anyway, getting back to it. What do I want to comment on? Crypto. Yeah, crypto. Let's take a look at crypto. So, crypto, Bitcoin looks to be flat. I know there was a taco trade, which would have worked on the NASDAQ. So Nick made some pretty decent gains on the NAS. So you could have bought the dip right there. Essentially, for maybe those people that don't know, the taco trade is Trump always chickens out. Trump has a crazy tweet, crazy announcement. There's a dip. Market drops. You then buy the dip. And soon after, a couple of days or a couple of weeks after, Trump actually goes back on his word and the market goes up. Okay? See? So if you did manage to catch the dip right there, you could have aimed for the Friday open, you can say. That would be the previous level. Nice positive reward to risk. Great trade. Same thing could have been applied to Bitcoin. So this was the Friday dip. This was the taco trade. If you did manage to catch it right there, aiming for the highs, positive reward to risk. Unfortunately, this one would have been a loss. doesn't really matter, because if you took both positions, you would have a positive reward to risk and net. So net, you would still have money. You would still end up having a profit, right? But interesting trade, interesting trading edge. If you're fast, I wasn't fast enough, but if you are fast, if you're following Trump, if you're on financial juice, if you're looking at breaking news, then you can try and catch these taco trades. They happen, I would say, maybe once every 3 months, once every 2 months. So they're pretty cool. As someone mentioned, I think I was with Avi on the call yesterday, which is a member of Zentum Trading. If you guys want to check out Zentum Trading, you can do so for free. Just go to zentumtrading.com and join for free. Okay. So you can get my free daily forecasts. You can get a free monthly newsletter. Check it out. Anyway, a link is in the description, by the way. So yeah, as Avi mentioned, the taco trade is not gonna work forever. So the taco trade will probably stop eventually working once the market kind of learns to ignore what Trump says, right? So it's that saying, fool me once, shame on me, or shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me, something like that. And that is what I'm expecting to happen with this trading edge as well. Eventually it will disappear. Until it does disappear, I'm going to be actively hunting for taco trades and actively hunting to buy the dips. I kind of already bought the dip, but it was a pretty long-term investment. So I bought the S&P. When we had the massive dip, when we had the tariff scare, right? So when Trump was going crazy with tariffs, I managed to get in on a couple of levels for a long-term investment. And now, well, I'm up a very, very decent percentage. So Trump is actually great for traders if you know how to follow his, you can say, signals. Okay. Okay, I've sold GPUSD yesterday at 1.377. Let's see. $1.377. Oh, 337. Okay, cool. So nice. 200 EMA on the 50-minute. Right now it's break even. Original trade was 1.1 to 3.5. How's it break even though? If your entry is 1.37, 1.337, so you should be running some profit, right? Yeah, I think you should be running profit. Yusuf says, what are your thoughts on investing into the S&P versus investing in gold? Well, I would say the common split, how some people or most people do it, is I think they put maybe like, I would say 55% S&P, 15%, no, let's do this. Let's do 50 for the S&P. Let's do 20 for Bitcoin, and let's do 30 for gold. I think this is a great split, right? So I think you can't go wrong with this one. Yes, you can make the percentages a bit different, but will you really have a bigger trading edge because of that? I don't think so. So if you do this, you should be doing pretty well. Essentially, any year, something should be moving. So what do I mean? When gold is, just a second. So when gold is flat and range bound like this, S&P should be moving. Here there was a massive range bound period on gold, you know, So there are massive range-bound periods of gold. While that happens, S&P should be moving. Also, vice versa, when the S&P is falling, gold should be moving. So you should be protected during the pullbacks, during COVID, let's say, right there. You should have been protected here as well. And or Bitcoin could be moving. One thing with Bitcoin though, it usually acts as a technology stock. So essentially it follows the NASDAQ. It follows the cycles of the NASDAQ. It follows the movement of the NASDAQ. The reason is that Bitcoin is a pretty risky asset, okay? So Bitcoin is a pretty risky asset. For that reason, Bitcoin tends to go up when people have extra money, extra funds, when they're feeling confident, when they're doing well in life to buy some risky assets. So Bitcoin is essentially connected with the S&P. But I would still say it's good to have some Bitcoin because it can move in massive percentages and the trend is pretty clear. So the trend is definitely to the upside, right? Definitely going up on crypto, on Bitcoin. That's what I think. Sluggy says I will join Zentum. Awesome. So I'll see you in there. I've made my stops to break even. Okay, so you have moved your stops to break even, but you're running some percentage, which is great. So this current candle is now pretty bearish, I would say, daily candle, and that's pretty good. Again, I'm bearish on GBPUSD. I'm bearish on the UK. I'm bearish on the pound. They're getting really bad data. I can show you. If we go to the UK, only 33% of the short-term data is coming out bullish. And now we look at the GDP. All over the place. No real consistency if you ask me. Unemployment rising, okay? So the unemployment is definitely rising, and that's pretty problematic. So 4.8% unemployment in the UK, that's bad. It's pretty high. Relative to other economies, also pretty high. The worst one is Canada. So this is the worst one, Canada, right? 7.1%, really bad. CPI, 2.4%. So rising inflation. Oh, no, sorry. GBP, even worse. 3.8%, very high inflation. If you combine all of these numbers, you get what is called stagflation. Okay, stagflation. Stagflation is basically when you have bad growth and you have high inflation. That usually reduces the demand for the currency. If you don't believe me, do some research. Easiest way, ask ChatGPT, ask Grok to tell you what is the effect of stagflation on the pound. And you will get all of the reasons why it's bad. So I like this trade idea. I already had an attempt. So Oanda data. Let's see, Oanda data. I had an attempt to go short. Unfortunately, I got taken out of my position. I got taken out of the position, but I do think it's gonna continue lower overall. Bitcoin is the riskiest asset. Other than shitcoins, those are not assets but liabilities. Yeah, Bitcoin, I would consider Bitcoin kind of safe, especially now that with mass adoption, pretty much everyone knows about Bitcoin. I think even pension funds have possibly started to invest into Bitcoin, so it's a pretty safe asset. I don't think it's going anywhere. Other crypto like Ethereum, Ripple, Dogecoin, and those are shitcoins, I would not trust. So I would not put my money into most other shitcoins. I do have some Ethereum, by the way. So I have mostly Bitcoin and I have some Ethereum just to see what happens. Stagflation is bad for the currency regardless of high CPI. Yeah, so that's essentially what happened to the CAD. like the CAD actually gained value recently. See, Euro CAD goes down, USD CAD goes down. It gained value because you had a hot CPI print. So short term, that seems bullish for the CAD, but long term, it's bad. Long term, it's bad because it's above target. And that is what people still haven't realized, I would say. Long term, it's at 2.4%. That is pretty high inflation. Or it's not super high, but it's above target. It's above 2%. So it's not what you want to see. If you're living in Canada, 2.4% inflation, not the best, right? You would rather have 1.7 or 1.9% than 2.4. It seems bullish for the currency, but long term it's really not. So I think this latest news actually produced a pullback opportunity. That's exactly how I was able to buy USD CAD on the pullback around the 20 MA. So that's pretty good. That's pretty healthy. Long term, I think it should go up. That's the bet. Okay. That's about it. I have ran out of time. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any last minute questions, you can put them in now and I can take a look quickly. Essentially, as I mentioned, if you want to get updates on when I will be streaming, you can find me on Instagram. Okay, you can find me on Instagram at Marco's Trading Journey. All of the links will be in the description of the stream. I usually stream every Thursday at 4:30 p.m. London time or around 4 p.m. London time. Check out Zentum Trading. You can join for free, just to repeat. So Zentum Trading, link in the description. You can join the free community. You can become a paid member if you want access to the full course. So up to you. And good luck in the markets. Thank you, Sluggy. Thank you, Youssef. I will catch you guys later. What is your rate of return this year to date? I think I'm up 3%, something like that, around 3%. So it's been a tough year, I'm not gonna lie. Previous year, I made, I think, 14 or 15% in 2024. This year, I've had some losses at the start. I've started looking at fundamentals and I've switched to a different strategy, let's say, which has been working out pretty well. So now I have to sort of climb out of the drawdown I made at the beginning of the year. So yeah, thank you guys very much for the comments. Thank you for joining the stream. I will see you next week. Watch out for the CPI tomorrow. It could be a big one. It could be pretty volatile. I have my bets in USDCAD, USDJPY. Those are the bets. That's it. Yeah. See you. Goodbye.